Movie friends, welcome back to the channel. Doing another Dead Meat video, and this is going to be for every Scream movie ranked. I think this is the only movie ranking that I have not watched that he's done. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into this thing. Of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and share the content. We always appreciate the support. We post as often as we can. We keep it retro. We do it. And by God, we love doing it. So without further ado, let's dive into this awesome James video. So 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Dead Meat,
Thank
the
you,
horror
James.
channel with that one dude with the hair.
Yes.
That one dude is me, James A. Janice, and today I'm going to be ranking the 4 Scream movies from worst to best. In an effort to tailor the ranking system to each specific franchise I cover.
By the way, I'll have my
fit
fit movies right here, so if you want to know my ranking.
Writing, directing, acting, etc. How scary and funny it is, since all the Screams try to be scary and funny.
Yes.
How good the Ghostface reveal is.
Now,
how fun or entertaining it is to watch.
Scream 3 will be my last
main
place.
Series is the kill
That's
count,
my last
I'm kind
place.
of obligated to judge the kills, even though, let's be real, it's Scream. They're mostly knife stabs. As always, I'll try to say what I like about all the movies, even the ones I rank low. Now
Okay.
let's grab our phones and voice changers and
Scream
get to the
3, right? Scream 3, which is at normally everybody's last.
Number 4. In last place is the original Scream. Nah, I'm just messing with you. It's Scream 3. Of course it's Scream 3. It has to be Scream 3. Scream 3 is what you get if a fifth grader watched the first 2 Scream movies and was told to make another one. But the only film equipment they had was a piece of fresh dog shit. It's bad, is what I'm trying to say. Let's start with my biggest annoyance, that GD voice changer. But James, they use a voice changer in all the movies. Why are you so butthurt? First off, don't say butthurt. You sound like a 10-year-old. Second off, the first 2 movies featured simple and realistic voice changers. No matter who you were,
this
you
one
talk
was a
into
little
the
bit.
thing, you get sexy sneering Ghostface voice.
Surprise, Sydney.
Love the first
Side note,
Scream.
Roger L. Jackson's voice performance is one of the best things of the franchise. Dude kills it, just like he does when he's Mojo frickin' Jojo. But in Scream 3, the new device allows you to perfectly imitate another human being's voice and speak original words and sentences in it.
Dewey's got our voices.
That just, like, phonemes don't work that way.
No.
Talking about how much fun it's gonna be
It's
to
not
rip
real
your
realistic.
insides out.
You can't do that from the other side of a door with a little handheld device. That's insane. The Scream movies are bound
It was
in
cool.
realism.
I mean,
The whole
in a sense,
premise
but
is
yeah,
staked
I
on
get
the
it.
fact that this
It's
is
not
our world
realistic.
with our rules and logic. This voice changer, especially when it's such a huge part of the plot, completely undercuts the movie. Not that there's not plenty of other stuff that's bad here. The convoluted gas explosion death is like a mousetrap of factors leading up to it. And everyone knows the mousetrap setup never goes off without a hitch. 2 promo shots taken 28 years apart aren't about to have the same lighting, blocking, and composition as each other. And there's no realistic way that Roman could have stopped his pulse at the perfect time for Gale to check it and determine he was dead. Speaking of Roman, can you say worst Ghostface ever? And there's some decent competition in that field. Scream 3 has such a huge cast running around, and they picked the most bland and forgettable dude to be the big reveal in the end. When he takes his mask off, even Sid just stares blankly, trying to
Yeah,
remember
it
who he
was
is
kind of
before he
like
has
there
to
was
tell
no
him.
real.
Roman Bridger, director.
Oh, you mean the dude who wore glasses in every other scene?
Was actually
in this
her
movie?
brother.
And while I'm not entirely against retconning during a series, making Roman the evil mastermind behind Billy and Stu takes away from those characters.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, Roman, that's like the one and only thing we know about.
I didn't like
We've
that.
got
I didn't like
it.
that
On
he was
the subject
behind,
of fake
uh,
movies, it's dumb that they're making Stab 3 but have location
Yeah.
sets and props from Scream 1, which was already
I don't-
covered
I-
in
yeah.
Stab 1. In Scream 2, I can't with this. Some of these points may seem like nitpicking, but they're all symptomatic of a film that just didn't care enough to try to be a good Scream
It's
movie.
fun, it's
Maybe
good
it's
popcorn
because it was
flick,
the only
but
Scream
yeah,
not written
it's
by
not.
Kevin Williamson, the guy who came up with the series in the first place. I could go on and on about problems I have with this movie, from the Jay and Silent Bob cameo to the spooky, scary ghost mom to the severely toned down kill.
Spooky ghost
But I've
mom
got
was
3 more
fucking
movies
weird
to
and
cover, so I
creepy.
should probably wrap this up by being fair and pointing out the things I did like about it. Even in a sea of wasted actors, Parker Posey manages to stand out and give a fun performance that makes her scenes actually entertaining to watch. We get a Carrie Fisher cameo. That's
Oh,
never not
cool.
good. I'm also down with how they handled and concluded the Dewey Gale art. Hashtag Team Gooey. Kincaid's partner Wallace is like the Creed Bratton of the movie. Not in it a lot, but funny when he is.
He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed. All right, this is the scene where you come with us.
After they realized how much of a mistake it was to kill Randy in part 2, I like that they came up with a halfway decent way to work him into the 3rd movie. And, I don't know,
It was
man,
kind of
that
sad.
might be it. This movie
That was
sucks.
emotional. Yeah.
Number 3.
Ghostface was kind of cool.
Coming in at number
when he has
3
the
is
mask
Scream
on.
2. I had a real hard time coming to a decision on these middle 2 spots, and I'll admit that the amazing podcast
I think our ranking's gonna be the same.
influenced me a little bit when they covered this movie. I like Scream 2 enough. It at least tries to be a respectable movie, unlike the cartoony part 3, and it still focuses mainly on
That's a good
Sid,
word for
which
it,
is
actually,
less true in the
cartoony.
movies that followed. Nev Campbell is great conveying the trust issues Sid has because of the first movie, and the new additions to the cast are all solid, including Liev Schreiber as a wigged-out cop
Yeah.
aggressively trying to prove he's innocent, and Laurie Metcalf half is a straight-up crazy lady. And there's an
Yeah,
impressive
man.
increase in the
Very
brutality of the
Pamela-esque.
kills. They may be less creative than the ones in the original, but they're just as serious, and of course, a lot more numerous. But on closer examination, you'll find weird things that probably came from the super rushed production and the continuous on-set script rewrites. One of the biggest examples is Mickey being the killer, a Ghostface reveal just as lame as Roman's. The dude seriously isn't seen once in the 45 minutes preceding his big reveal. What kind of shit is that? And that's coming from someone who loves Timothy Olyphant and the way he manages to rock my hairline. It's the last scene we see him in before the big climax that also single-handedly knocks this movie below Scream 4. It's
Honestly,
that
it would've been
god-awful
more
cafeteria
surprising
scene where
if
Sid's
he
boyfriend
became the
Derek
killer.
starts giving a performance of the Partridge Family that absolutely nobody asked for or wanted.
I think I love you. Isn't that what life is made of?
This bit goes on forever as he dances around on tabletops like he's a polo-shirted Fred Astaire. Add in Mickey's obnoxious dancing and him trying to orchestrate the rest of the students in this cafeteria when they're just trying to grab lunch between classes, and my body is clenching with secondhand embarrassment. To top it all off,
I'd
the
be
background music
fucking
sounds like it's
pissed
from
someone
a
did that to
corporate
me.
retreat
I'd be like,
video
dude.
scored by the Verve. In general, Scream 2 feels like an imitation of the original that needed more time in the oven. It could also shave off like 10 minutes. Thing is 2 hours long. What are you trying to do, Scream 2? Win an Oscar? Take out the thespian Sydney storyline. That's not doing anything, other than setting up for a ridiculous climax wherein Laurie Metcalf is partially defeated by foam rocks and fake paper flames. That's as silly as the idea of a knife going through a bathroom stall partition cleanly and accurately enough to kill a dude. It's as silly as not demasking or choking out Ghostface
Hey, that was a
from
good jump,
climbing
though.
over his unconscious body. It's as silly as that film class discussion that's just an excuse for the movie to be meta and give Joshua Jackson some acting practice after the Mighty Ducks movies. Basically, this is a movie that tried to be serious and ended up a little silly, which is admittedly better than Scream 3, a movie that tried to be silly and ended up a flaming trash can of a movie. Number 2.
I agree. Scream 4.
Like I said, I had a hard time deciding, but my number
Scream
2
4.
Scream movie is Scream 4.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think it came down
Scream
to Scream 4
is
having great
pretty
gore
good.
and not having that horrendous cafeteria
Didn't like it at
scene.
first,
God
but
damn,
loved
I
it
hated
afterwards.
I'll be honest and say I was kind of fundamentally against this movie even existing, since I felt like the Scream storyline was pretty strongly concluded after the OT. But it is fun to check back in on so many characters over a decade after we last saw them.
Can't wait for
Also,
Scream
I
5.
greatly appreciate how Scream 4
Hell, I can't even wait for
course-corrects the
Scream
tone of the
Legacy.
series after Scream 3 veered uncontrollably towards comedy. The movie does a good job bringing the series out of the 90s, updating the technology to include live streams and viral videos, and updating its genre commentary
The
to
killers
include
were cool.
discussions about reboots and the Saw-type movies that had come out since Scream 3.
It's not scary, it's gross. I hate all that torture porn shit.
Stab being on the 7th installment is pretty funny, and that joke's part of the double fake-out meta opening, which doesn't make complete sense when you really think about it, but is a perfect culmination of how this series talks
I
directly
liked
to
it.
the audience. There's still a lot of things that bug me, though. Woodsboro looks distractingly different to me, although that might just come from my recognition of the shooting location, Ann Arbor, Michigan, home of the leaders and best. I don't like all the red herring characters who are creepy for no reason. Scream 3 was bad enough with Kincaid and Angelina, but Scream 4 is worse, with Deputy Judy emerging from the shadows like she's about to ask where her precious is, and Sydney's Aunt Kate talking wistfully
I think
and making
Dr.
midnight
Judy is kinda
grocery
cute,
runs.
not gonna
Also,
lie.
it's a relatively small thing, but where did they come up with their big rule for horror remakes?
In fact, the only surefire way to survive a modern horror movie, you pretty much have to be gay.
Maybe I just haven't seen enough reboots,
Stop,
but
man.
can any of you give me any examples of this supposed phenomenon? I'm also a little annoyed that they didn't have
I
the
think they
guts
said
to
that
kill
for
off
a
any
joke
of the main
purpose, like,
characters. If you're coming back to an established
gay.
series after such a long absence, air that shit out, man. Inject some life with a death. Really Force Awakens it. Instead, all 3 OG Scream stars survive, even though Courtney Cox is sidelined for almost the entire third act. At least the Ghostface reveals make sense, as obnoxious as the characters are. Both Charlie's trademark entitled nice guy and Jill's fame-seeking reality TV sociopath are believable murderers for a horror movie in the 2010s. And near the end of the movie is Jill's self-inflicted harm sequence, one of my favorite things in the entire franchise.
Goddamn.
That's some good stuff. Finally, Scream
your
4
own
has
ass.
Hayden Panettiere, the MVP of the new cast. So much great face acting, and she's such a likable person. In a perfect
Yeah, she
world,
did
Wes
good.
Craven would have gone
I felt
on
so
to make
bad
a
for
second
her,
Scream
man.
trilogy about Kirby, which I realized was a possibility with
Yeah,
her
Kirby.
open-ended
I felt
fate
so bad for
until,
her.
sadly, Craven passed away a few years ago. Before
Yeah.
it came out, I thought Scream
Rest in
4
peace,
was unnecessary,
you
but
master.
the movie managed to convince me that the series was worth updating, even if it didn't execute all those updates perfectly.
Okay.
Probably would have helped if they had
Stop.
wiped all that
I don't know why
Vaseline
it's
off
funny
the
to me. It's
camera
just
lenses
like,
when they shot
you're being
it. Seriously,
stabbed,
next time a horror series
dude.
makes a long-awaited sequel, it should probably avoid lighting it like a softcore porn. Number 1. There was never any question about
No,
the top spot
too
on this
classic.
list. The original Scream is the best Scream because it's one of the best horror movies of the 90s. There's
And
a
in
reason
general.
this movie upended the entire
Seriously.
genre and put horror movies back into the mainstream. It was self-aware, it was funny, and it was scary too, dude. The opening scene to Scream is one of the greatest opening sequences in a horror movie ever.
Top
Not
5.
only does it establish right
Top
away
5.
that these
I'd say right
characters
now,
know
top
and
5
love
best
all the same
openings for a horror
movies
film.
we do.
Listen, it was Jason. I saw that movie 20 goddamn times.
And even though it was Jason's brother.
Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was the original killer.
But it freaking
I
kills
knew
off
that.
Drew Barrymore.
That's
just
what you
12
ask.
minutes in. That chick was all
You
over all
talking-
the promo materials. It's a perfect scene of ever heightening tension
like,
between Ghostface's increasingly hostile calls to the Jiffy Pop stovetop fire, and both deaths in it
talking
are
the
graphic
first movie
enough
or
to
the
let you know
second?
this
That's
isn't
what I'd
just
asked.
going to be a comedy. In fact, most of the kills are solid, while the later Scream movies would feature kills that were almost always
Oh, yeah,
just
it's got
stabbings
like a
and shootings.
30-second
This one's
delay.
got the infamous garage door death, as well as the shocking end to Stu Macher. And do you even want to get me started on the tour de force that Matthew Lillard gives?
Ow, liver. It was a joke.
Yeah, it might be a little over the top sometimes,
But it works.
he's giving it his all, as is the
I
rest
love
of the
it.
cast. Nev Campbell establishes
I actually prefer
Sidney
him
Prescott
over,
as a
Billy.
strong yet relatable anchor to the story, and would remain the strongest asset of Scream
As a killer.
for the entire series run. Jamie Kennedy bought so much goodwill as Randy that I saw Malibu's Most Wanted in theaters. And Skeet Ulrich,
I think he
as
has a
Sidney's
YouTube channel
entitled
now.
boyfriend Billy Loomis, is greasier and grimier than a glob of gopher guts. And that's another thing. These ghost faces are the best two of the
Oh,
series.
hell
They're a great
yeah.
combination of reason and chaos. Billy acts as the mastermind, mad about Maureen Prescott's affair that helped break
And
his
he's just on
parents
for the
up, and
ride.
whining over blue balls that he blames on Sidney.
See what you do to me?
While Stu's motivation is more terrifyingly random.
Peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive.
But also because, let's be real, dude's in love with Billy. Look at these two. I ship them so hard. Few movies can successfully
Yeah.
strike a humorous tone
Yeah.
while still making you take it seriously. But because Scream puts his likable hero in constant danger, all while presenting a great whodunit mystery that keeps the audience engaged, it's able to be funny without ever sacrificing its authority as a horror
Fucking
movie. I don't care how
well-deserved
cliche
punch.
or common in opinion it's become. I freaking love the original Scream and will forever respect its impact
I've seen
on
it
the
so many
favorite movie
times.
genre. And that's my list. If you missed any of the Scream kill counts, hit up the playlist linked right over there.
I will at
And
some point,
apologies
yeah.
yet again to my Canadian viewers. For whatever reason, the Scream 2 kill count was blocked in your country. I don't know, man. That shit just happens to me. I hope they never make
That
a
sucks.
Scream
I'm sorry,
5,
guys.
since Wes Craven wouldn't be involved. But if they do, you know I'll cover it on the kill count. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been Dead Meat.
Thank you, James. Wow. Okay, so yeah, our ranking was about exactly the same for exactly the same fucking reasons. I mean, Scream 3, you know, it has its moments. I think it's a good popcorn flick. You know, that's about all I can get it to. Good popcorn flick. Fun time if you don't take it seriously. Scream 2, obviously, again, another good popcorn. They're all really good popcorn flicks, obviously. But, you know, sometimes when I use the term popcorn flick, sometimes I just mean, you know, just throw popcorn in your face, enjoy what's happening on screen. But Scream 2, I really do enjoy for the most part. Scream 4, obviously, as sequels go, best sequel. And, you know, that's not really saying much considering the fact that the two other sequels are not really that great of movies. Scream 4 is a lot of fun. And then we got Scream, which is, in my opinion, an all-time classic. It is a modern-day horror movie classic. One of the best openings of any horror movie. I mean, and Ghostface, the killer Ghostface is just haunting and has, yes, easily two of the best killers. I mean, two of the best killers in the entire Scream franchise, which is Billy and Stu. So, I mean, is it Stu or Lou? Now I'm like having a brain fart. I think it's Stu. But anyways, guys, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. What do you guys think of it? What was your favorite Scream movie? How would you rank them? Let me know down below. Of course, if you like this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. We post as often as we can. We keep it retro. We enjoy doing it, for God's sakes. And until next time, movie friends, keep it retro. And I'll check you guys out in the next video.